Do another rant video. I guess I'm just gonna do as many of these as I possibly can since I'm literally doing nothing at work. Anyways, this is kind of just a view of my job, working at a hotel, and yeah, see, as you can see, there's like, of course, nobody coming in. There's the entrance, nobody's coming in. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm at work. This is like the worst. Anyways, my next rant video is gonna be a real touchy one for a lot of modern day fanboys, especially in my age range. I want to do PlayStation versus Xbox. A kind of comparison of just really overall who I would consider to be better. Now, I am pro PlayStation. I'm not against Xbox though. I think Xbox has brought a lot of great things to the game industry. I think it has its perks and it's good for those who like it. And you just like what you like, man. And I'm glad it exists because it creates competition and makes sure other gaming brands, don't, suck. So just PlayStation, PC, all that good stuff. Anyways, this is the reason I think PlayStation overall is just better, and why I get tired of big time Xbox fanboys, which a lot of my friends are. A lot of my personal friends are Xbox fanboys, and they will just say that Xbox is Xbox is better, and I'm like, no, you can like Xbox to say it's better is ignorant. Okay, first, PlayStation established gaming as pretty much a very user friendly, or I'm gonna say very mass user base. Like it established a very large user base for gaming. It made gaming an established thing, like just all around the world, and just as an established commonplace thing amongst just people. Period. It brought gaming to a whole nother level where it just wasn't just this thing that some people did or kids did or just nerds did. It made it a household thing. Game because of PlayStation, gaming became a huge mainstream media and a common thing to do, just amongst people. Like PlayStation One came and just broke record numbers, sold over 100 million units. They came and just took gaming away from Nintendo, and it even took a exclusive away from them and made it their own big thing, and it made it a big time game, which is Final Fantasy. But yeah, PlayStation did that, and they brought 3D gaming. It brought the first gaming. I don't know if it was the first, but it was a big mainstay gaming that could play a console that could play CD. I mean, easily, yeah, PlayStation established gaming big time. Made popular titles like Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, Tekken, big gaming franchise, biggest gaming franchise of all time as far as numbers, was established at PlayStation, and many more games. PlayStation established exclusively, and games that weren't even exclusive to them, PlayStation made big. Made these games big. Everybody was on PlayStation. PlayStation 2 years later came once again. Oh my bad, I'm making a lot of noise moving around chairs and stuff. PlayStation 2 came and shattered monster numbers again, and PlayStation 2 was the number one selling console of all time, arguably the greatest console ever made, just because of the huge library of games that it had, and it opened up the world for developers and established, just gaming today as we know it, pretty much, as far as the idea of this leap in graphical power, just different content of games, different libraries. Um, there's a lot of mainstay games we have most came from PlayStation 2, and it just opened up a world of possibilities for games and game developers, and once again just broke the mold on just putting people in living rooms and in front of the gaming system, which it kind of can be a negative thing. You don't want people playing games all the time, but as far as just if you're a fan of gaming and just love the gaming it exists and that it is as big as it is today, and that we have just this that gaming has reached the possibilities that it has, in the kind of games you're able to play, and the awesomeness that video games are, and what you can do in them. PlayStation 2 established those possibilities and those ideas, and opened up, just this established game developers making awesome, new, and different kind of games. That was PlayStation all the way. And so you have, and if you're a gamer and you're around my age or even a little bit younger, you were a PlayStation 2 player. You were a PlayStation 2 junkie. You played games. There's those rare exceptions, but that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that most of you played PlayStation 2 and had your roots in PlayStation 2. If you're the younger kids, you might have played Xbox, but PlayStation 2 dominated the gaming industry. I don't want to hear that excuse that Xbox wasn't around. PlayStation released 2001. Xbox was released in 2000. It was made in 2002. and Xbox was actually the more powerful system. It had its own exclusive games. It had its own network. It was better for internet gaming. It was more internet gaming friendly. So it had its chance. It had its possibilities. And it's not even the fact that it didn't surpass it. It's the fact that it didn't even get close. Not only did it not surpass PlayStation 2 in sales, it didn't even come astronomically close. So PlayStation is better. And Nintendo was the more powerful system. Fun fact, actually was. PlayStation 2 was actually the weakest system of its generation during that time period. But because of the games it offered, because the fact that it offered DVD for free, like you had GameCube didn't have a DVD, Xbox made you pay for an extra part to have a DVD player, and just PlayStation 2 had a better gaming library. It really did, and it brought the idea of extra storage. It had the ability to play internet. It just became the first and PlayStation 2 became the first console to become a multimedia device. You could play DVDs, it could play CDs, it had internet. You could just do different things on it. And that was a PlayStation inspired idea, and just ideas of memory cards, all that good stuff. The modern day controller, as we know it, as far as a lot of the features that we see in controllers today, didn't start with PlayStation 2, but PlayStation 1 and 2 established trigger, R2 triggers in the back, rumbling effect, analog, PlayStation controller feedback. PlayStation established those things big time in PlayStation, and once again PlayStation 2 opened the library of games as we know it today. So already there, just based off historical, man, PlayStation 1 and 2 killed it in just numbers, opening up a library of games and establishing gaming as a mainstay and bringing in a lot of gaming fans. PlayStation brought in a lot of gaming fans. Reason gaming is as big as it is today, you thank PlayStation for that. So that is a big one there. I think advantage PlayStation. Now the PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 era, Xbox 360 era, I will admit, Xbox 360 dominated that era. They absolutely took over. They took the game. They took gaming by storm and just brought in a very new innovative idea, which was network, establishing its own network. Because PlayStation 2, Xbox wasn't the first to think of playing games online. PlayStation 2 had them actually. You could play games online. You could kind of talk, but you had to get a type and all that. You were able to chat, but the game itself had to have online gameplay. PlayStation didn't have its own network service, so Xbox did come with that idea, and of course made it more user-friendly controller. But I don't remember complaining about that as a kid. I don't remember my friends complaining about it as a kid. Just the controller. But Xbox, they came with their own design. I'll give them props for it. It is a great controller, and just a network. And Xbox 360 did dominate that era. They really did. But but at the same time, PlayStation did end up surpassing them in sales. So at the same time, PlayStation was able to do what these other consoles weren't able to do, and that is, even though they weren't the big dog during a certain era or that time period that they released their console, they were able to put themselves out of that hole, and at the same time catch up and even surpass Xbox 360. To this day, PlayStation 3 has sold more units than the Xbox 360, and so, but that was because PlayStation 3 did have better exclusives. It was the more powerful system. It was the first console to establish a Blu-ray player and have their games in Blu-ray. It was the first console to have a hard drive, actually, and an HDMI cord. The original Xbox 360 didn't come with PlayStation 3 didn't come with extra hard drive space, and it did not have a HDMI cord, and didn't know Blu-ray and all that. And the PlayStation 3 all around was just generally more durable, and just it was able to do just a lot of different things. It was a very powerful console, and people say, well, Xbox 360 can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, but not as much, because it's and the proof is in the pudding, because PlayStation 3 came back and started outselling them. So that's where I'd say, yeah, same time, and sales does matter. Sales does matter, and in an argument like this, because you're spending a lot of money on one particular thing, and so if you're going to go and buy something that costs a lot of money, you got two different items to choose from, then the one that's selling more most likely is the better one. Especially if think about it, it's been happening over and over and over again for PlayStation. They've been winning this competition over and over and over again. And Nintendo, we actually won that generation. A lot of people don't realize this. When they talk about it, Nintendo, we actually won that console generation because Nintendo Wii came with a really innovative idea and just how they played games, and Nintendo Wii just has a lot of those OG games. And the one thing that Nintendo does market very well, you can see myself in the mirror. Check that out. Hey, anyways, is family friendly use, marketing family, games and games to play with friends and family, which is that's a factor. Marketing isn't a factor. That is a factor in deciding, because you're appealing to a certain kind of audience, and that is a factor in deciding, which gaming console is better. Because you want to be able to appeal to different kind of audiences, and old gamers, young gamers, old gamers love Nintendo because it's what they grew up with. You got the family aspect, and then you got bringing games that appeals to a younger generation. Nintendo Wii does that very well. They're just very well designed and fun games to play, and so that's a factor there. But anyways, I will continue this rant in a part 2. I'm going to split it up and continue it because I don't want to make the video too long and not be able to upload and all that good stuff. Anyways, continue to get on this very, very touchy subject in this day and age and establish, in my personal opinion, why I feel like PlayStation is the better console and is the best console as far as just a pure gaming machine. Anyways, but I will see you in the next video. While I'm sitting here and chilling at work overnight, gotta make that money, man. Gotta grind. Hopefully one day I can become famous, whatever, and just not have to do this, because working for a living is, it's nothing wrong with it, but man, sometimes it can be rough. But good thing is this job here is pretty chill. I'm making YouTube videos over and over and over again. I should have started doing this sooner. I'll see you guys on the next rant video of, I think is better, PlayStation to Xbox, or even Nintendo. I'm not really gonna talk about Nintendo. Not a big Nintendo guy. They got Mario. Woohoo! Anyways, see you guys in the next video, and see you then. Hope you guys check it out.